Hi friends, Devang here. This short video is for a very important part of CA final costing paper, part which is called as case studies. Very important because in almost every exam of CA final costing, new syllabus, yes, the paper will mostly contain almost 20 to 30 marks of case studies, probably even more than that. Yeah, so case studies is a very important part of CA final paper. This video is some guidelines regarding how to answer case study questions. Yes, look, when you answer case study questions, while answering case studies questions, you are not expected to just give calculations. No, look, when you answer case studies questions, imagine this, picture this that say you are already done with your CA course, you have become a chartered accountant and you are a practicing chartered accountant. Just imagine, run your imaginations. You're a practicing chartered accountant and you are sitting in your office. One day a client comes to you, your office, and he comes to you with some problem. He comes to you with some problem in his business and you are supposed to help him out in that problem. Now, when you are giving suggestions to your client, do you just make calculations and give answer to the client? No. When you are giving suggestions to your client, you have to give him analysis, you have to explain to him that what are you supposed to do, why are you supposed to do. In short, you have to convince the client. Well, that is exactly how I need you to answer case studies. I've told you this in my regular classes many times. Again, I'm telling you that when you write answers in the exam, don't just write calculations. This is not IPCC, this is not intermediate level. Now this is CA final level. At final level, when you write your answer, don't just write calculations. Instead, you need to write analysis, you need to write theory, you need to write analysis. In short, you need to write your answer as if you are trying to convince the client, as if you are talking to the client. Yes, in your real life situation, what you are talking to the client, that is what you need to mention in your answer. Same logic applies for case studies also. Yes. So when you are doing your preparation for case studies, look, in my book, I have given almost 50 case studies we have in our book, and more than 50% of them, more than half of them we have discussed in class. Yes, we have almost 50 case studies in my book and we have discussed more than half of them in class. But when you prepare case studies on your own, please do not memorize the case studies that I have given. Do not memorize the case studies that I have given. Your focus while studying, while preparing case studies on your own, your focus is not on what to answer. Rather, your focus is on how to answer case studies. While studying the case studies, don't memorize what to answer, because naturally, same case study will never come again in the exam. So don't waste time in memorizing what to answer, rather focus on how to answer the case studies. Well, in different chapters, in the revision of different chapters that I have conducted in this series, I've also explained to you, especially in chapter 8, I've written in my summary notes that how to answer case studies of different topics of chapter 8. That will be important. Yes, you'll find the revisions of chapter 8 within the same playlist in the YouTube channel. Now, case studies can be mostly open-ended questions. Open-ended. So apart from the basic theory, your answer can include suggestions out of your own creativity also. That is why I said that when you answer case study, you answer as if you are talking to the client, you are giving recommendations to your client. Yes, that is what is expected from you. Now, what I'm giving you here are some general guidelines for answering your case studies. These guidelines are not given in the institute study material. These are not guidelines prescribed by the institute. No, these guidelines are my home production. These guidelines are just my home production, just for you to have a basic idea about how to approach your answer in case study. Yes, so in my opinion, these guidelines will just help you to have a proper framework in your mind that how will you answer case studies. Done? So let's dive in. Well, case studies in your subject can be of two types. Either it is a problem solving case study or it is a theory based case study. Now what does that mean? Problem solving case study is the one where you will be given details of some company and you will be given in the question that the company has many problems. The company is facing many problems and you are asked to recommend how to solve these problems. That is called as problem solving case study. While theory based case studies are the ones where the case study does not have any problem given. There is no problem. You are given details of the company, but you will find when you read the case, you will find that there is as such no problem in the company. Everything is good. If everything is good, then why are you given the case study? Well, you are given the question to describe the theory only. There can be these two types of case study questions that you might get. Either it is a problem solving case study or it is a theory based case study. Well, just for reference, I'll give you examples of reference also. Reference like problem solving case study, we had very first case study like that we had learned in my class was in chapter 2, case 1. Let's just write better. Chapter 2, case 1 that we had done was regarding a problem solving case study. That question was regarding supply chain management. Yes, and for theory based case study, I'll give you reference. We had done that in chapter 1, case 1. I'm giving that references just as example. Chapter 1, case 1, which was regarding value chain analysis, Porter's value chain analysis from chapter 1. Yes. Now, if your question is regarding problem solving case study, this will be the ones where details about a company are given and the company has certain problems. Like I said, you are required to suggest solutions to those problems. For such questions, you answer the case as per the following guidelines. Now I'm giving you some guidelines how to answer such questions. Every question of case study which is about problem solving, I suggest you follow these 5 steps. You follow these 5 steps. Then your answer will be a fairly good enough answer. Look, just because I'm giving you 5 steps here and I'm telling you that you answer your case study as per these 5 steps, well, this does not mean that every answer given in ICAI book will be by exact same 5 steps. No, case studies are open-ended. Every answer will be by different approach. But if you follow that, you will get confused. So I am giving you a suggestion that for all your answers, for all answers of my students, you follow these 5 steps. Trust me, it will be a fairly good answer. And it will cover almost everything that ICAI asks you to answer. Yeah. So check. Step 1, I say identify all the theory topics involved in the case and describe those theory topics. So if my case is regarding supply chain management, then step 1, write the basic theory about supply chain management, everything that you find relevant. Yeah. Step 2, explain what the company is currently doing and identify all the problems that the company is currently facing. Yes, you explain that company is currently following which methods, currently they are facing what problems, all that you explain in that paragraph. Also write appreciation about anything you find good in the company. Say company is following balanced scorecard for performance evaluation. This is what the company is currently doing. Identify problems that the company is currently facing. Currently, if the company is following balanced scorecard, the company is facing a problem that employees are not satisfied. Also write appreciation about the good things in the company. Good thing is that customers are at least satisfied because company is using balanced scorecard. Yeah, this is my step 2. Third, give your recommendation against each problem of step 2 above. In step 2, you identified each problem mentioned in the case details. Step 3, you give your recommendations against each problem of step 2. Do not miss out any problem given. When I say your recommendation, this will be out of your creativity. Yes, you give your recommendation for each problems in step 2. Do not miss out any problem given. Look, when you give recommendation, it does not mean that your recommendation should definitely solve the problem. No, but your recommendation should be there. You at least mention something about each of the problems given. If there is no solution to the problem, okay, then you just recommend that this problem will stay. A company has to accept the problem. But you should mention your comments about every problem mentioned. Every problem that you identified, you should comment on each of the problem that you identified. That is step 3. Step 4, identify and describe any other aspect or any other recommendation. If you have any extra recommendation other than the problems given, then you mention that also over here. That is step 4, if you can think of any. And step 5, describe all benefits of your suggestions given in step 3. You gave your recommendations here. You also write that if the company follows my recommendation, then these will be the benefits. Mention benefits of my recommendation also in that 5th step. Yeah, these 5 steps will help you draft a good enough answer for problem solving case studies. Done? Yes. For example, we did that in chapter 2, case study 1, which was regarding supply chain management. Hello, I'll just show you what we had done at that time. Chapter number 2, case study first, supply chain management. This was the case, and I said that this was a problem solving case study because in this case we had discussed in class that many problems were given. Problems were given that like you can see here, holding period of inventory is very high, working capital cycle is very severe, products are becoming obsolete. All these are the problems that the company was facing. And that is why I say this was a problem solving case study, and it was regarding supply chain management. In fact, they already mentioned here that it is regarding supply chain management. Well, that is my problem solving case study. Done? Yes. Second category of case studies can be theory based case studies. For that, I take example of chapter 1, case 1, which was regarding value chain analysis. Let me show you that. Chapter 1, case 1 was regarding value chain analysis. Now this was the question we had discussed in class, where you are given all details of this company called S-Mart. Now when we went through the entire question, by the end of the question you realize that everything in the company is good. There is nothing bad in the company. Company is growing leaps and bounds. Company has highest profit margin, highest return on equity in the industry. It is paying the all suppliers in advance also. They are getting preferential pricing from the suppliers. There is no requirement of warehouses in the company. No third party franchises, no intermediaries, no marketing required by the company. So you notice that everything in this company is perfectly good. Then why have they asked you case study? Well, these are the case studies which is not a problem solving case study, because this company does not have any problem. Instead, I say this is a purely theory based case study. They're asking you to identify activities of this company as per the Porter's value chain model. The Porter's value chain analysis, as per the Porter's value chain model, remember there are primary activities, secondary activities. All you have to do is identify that which of the company activities fall under primary, which of this company activities fall under secondary. This becomes your theory based case study. Yes, so for theory based case study, my guidelines, I say that here again all details about a company are given, but this time the company does not have any problems at all. The question is just asking you to apply some specific theory in this company. They are just asking you to apply some specific theory. For such questions, describe the full theory that is asked and mention the given case as example with each point of theory. Describe what is primary activities, what are inbound logistics, what is outbound logistics and all, and then describe that in this company what is their policy for inbound logistics, what is their policy for outbound logistics and all. So you write the basic theory and you find out points from the case details as examples to this theory. Done? That is how you answer the theory based case study. Yes. Now, one general note for all case studies. In the question of case study, if some specific requirements are asked instead of general theory, then answer only for that specific requirements asked. In such case, don't follow the steps given above. Well, here I give you example. Example chapter 2, case 3, which is regarding business excellence model. We had discussed this in class when we studied chapter 2, when we studied the theory about business excellence model. I'll show you that. Chalo. chapter 2, yeah. Case study 3. Now, business excellence model. This was the case study where I had discussed this. Now, you are given details of some company, and at the end of the question, you are asked specific requirements. It is not a general case study, rather they have given 4 specific questions. Now, when you find a case study having specific required part like this, then for such questions, you don't answer general theory. You don't follow the steps that I gave you. Rather, you simply follow the required part that they have asked. Yes, so for such case studies, do not follow the steps that I gave. Instead, you simply follow the required part. You simply follow this requirement and you mention your answer in the sequence of that requirement only. Yes, that is my general note over here. Yes, so if the question has some specific requirements like this business excellence case study, then instead of making general theory, instead of writing general theory, you answer only what specific requirements are asked. In such case, do not follow the steps given above. However, if in the question no specific requirement is given, then you answer as per the guidelines that I have given here. Done? Yes. Look, these rules will help you answer case studies in a more better way. And trust me, if you follow these rules, if you understand these rules, then you will never be feeling worry about answering case studies. Look, case studies is an area of CA final paper which you cannot fully prepare for. You can prepare for the practical questions and you will feel very confident in answering practical questions. But while answering case studies, you might not feel very confident. The only way how you raise your confidence in answering case study questions is 2 things. Number 1, follow the guidelines that I have given. And number 2, just read the case studies that I have discussed in class. More case studies you read for your understanding, that much more confidence will build up. Done? Yes, that's all with this video. This was regarding how to answer case studies. Hope that helps you in the exam. Thank you very much. Bye bye.